Hi everyone, Josh with Talk About Trek here, and today we're going to be talking about a Trek book again, finally. If you guys didn't know, this channel originally started as Star Trek book reviews, and my plan was to read through the original TNG novels one by one and give a review on them. And I think we made it through about 7 before time and obligations caught up, and I just couldn't keep up anymore. Eventually, we came back to the channel. We started talking about toys and magazines and all other fun Star Trek stuff. But we are finally back to talking about books today. So today, we're going to be talking about Star Trek Picard, The Dark Veil, which I finished just a couple days ago. So the first part, I guess, of this video, we'll talk about the book, and I'll try not to get too spoilery in case anyone wants to read it and not get spoiled. And then in the second part, I'll just go all out and kind of rant and rave and talk about what I thought. First off, this was a really exciting book for me because the last series of books I was reading was the Star Trek Titan series. I'd read the first 3 or 4 of those, and then I read the Destiny series. So it was nice to jump into this because you're getting to see Riker, Troy, and the Titan, back again in, I guess what you could say is more of kind of a almost canon tale. So this Star Trek Picard book is basically a sequel to this Star Trek Picard book, The Last Best Hope, which talks about what happened at the end of the Romulan relocation effort. Basically everything that kind of went down in Picard. It detailed everything that happened before that. So this is the sequel to that, after Picard has retired from Starfleet, and now we're following with Riker, Troy, and the Titan, and basically what kind of missions that they are on now in this kind of new, different kind of Starfleet that has now banned synthetics and is not, no longer assisting Romulus in the effort. So this story picks up, actually the first chapter picks up, strangely enough, in a Romulan tribunal. So kind of one of those throwing you off into a mystery. Here's Riker, he's in the middle of this tribunal. He's got to answer for some sort of crime that of course we're going to get into. And that's how it starts out. Now, I guess before we get too far, let's just kind of read the blurb and talk a little bit more. So this book was written by James Swallow. And the inside blurb reads this. The Alpha Quadrant is mired in crisis. Within the United Federation of Planets, a terrorist strike on the shipyards of Mars has led to the shutdown of all relief efforts for millions of Romulans facing certain doom from an impending supernova. But when the USS Titan is drawn into catastrophic incident on the Romulan Federation border, Captain William Riker, his family, and crew find themselves caught between the shocking secrets of an enigmatic alien species and the deadly agenda of a ruthless Tal Shiar operative. Forced into a wary alliance with the Romulan starship commander, Riker and the Titan crew must uncover the truth to stop a devastating attack. But one wrong move could plunge the entire sector into open conflict. So that's kind of your general idea of what's happening here. And I'll get a little bit more in depth. Basically, they were summoned to help this species called the Jazari, who have been kind of part of Starfleet, but now they are all gathering, and they are all returning home. And this has kind of always been like a mystery species of Starfleet. They look like kind of like a basic reptilian species, but they've been very mysterious about their past and their origins. They don't allow themselves to be scanned or transported or any of that. So they've always been kind of a mystery. Now, all of the Jazari are gathering. And Riker and the Titan are transporting this Jazari to his home world. And that's where it kind of picks up. So they get to the home world, and they find it basically completely devastated. And they think that something's attacked it. But it turns out this race has actually basically taken apart their world, and they've turned it into a gigantic ship. And the scale that they describe in the book is that the Titan is to this ship as a whale is to a minnow. And they described it kind of as a large wishbone shape holding an egg. And I did actually take notes, and I drew a picture. So if there, that's kind of my thought, is what this thing is. And look at that tiny little Titan up there, little minnow. So anyway, what you've got is this mystery aliens who've built this gigantic ship. And then, focus, something has gone wrong. So, what do we need to show up? We need some Romulans to show up. And that's what we get. So we have a Romulan warbird decloaking to assist, actually, come to assist in a situation. So that's your basic premise for this story. And it gets much deeper into that, and before we get into the spoiler section, I won't say much more than that. So you've got this mystery ship, you've got Riker and the crew of the Titan, and now you've got this Romulan warbird decloaking. And you already know what's going on there with the past and Romulus and the supernova coming. So that's your setup for this story. Where it goes from there, I thought was pretty interesting. I had a really good time reading this, and as I got towards the end, it was kind of one of those books where I just wanted to keep going more and more as it got closer to the end. It just kind of kept drawing me in more and more. So that will be the end of the non-spoilery section of this. So if you don't want to be spoiler, just turn it off now and go watch an episode of Star Trek. I watched the episode today where Gul Dukat was at Empak Nor, and he was going to convince all those people to take those suicide pills. That was a crazy episode. Go watch that episode. I don't remember the name of it, but it was really good. So anyway, spoilers abound from this point onward. So, the Romulans and a team from the Federation are invited down to this ship to kind of check it out. And it turns out that they've got all these different biomes on this ship and basically are moving their entire world and species and everything all to another galaxy. They've decided they've had enough and they're moving on. And being mysterious, they don't really want to go into it very much, of course. So the Romulans, being who they are, they need to investigate. So let's go over the major players here real quick. So, of course, on board the Titan, you've got Commander Riker, and you've got Counselor Troy, and at this point they have had a young son named Thaddeus Riker. The other main characters on the Titan, and I was really glad to see this, is returning from the Titan series is Christine Vale, and then they have Carew at security, and I don't have the other characters written down here, but there is a Vulcan doctor, and I think there's a Denobulan comms woman, and quite a few other characters, but I was kind of disappointed they did not bring back I can't think of the species, but the dinosaur doctor from the original Titan books, who I thought was awesome. I'll think of that probably at the end of this video. So there's your Titan crew. Now, on the Romulan ship, the warbird there, you have Captain Madaka, who's actually kind of like a decent Romulan guy. And then you have Major Hellick. Now, she is with the Zant Vash. So she is scheming, and she is here trying to find out what's going on. Is there any robots around here? You know these guys. So, beaming down, they both get to go down, both teams get to go down to this dome, and they get to check it out. And of course the Romulans are scheming, looking for something, and they find something. But also, Riker's son Thaddeus is not being very good. He's off, he's getting into trouble, he's literally jumping into strange holes, in a strange place, causing trouble. So between him and the Romulans, basically there's an explosion that happens aboard the ship, and it is uncovered that these creatures are actually artificial life forms. And Major Hellick brings one back to the warbird and is basically trying to... I've gotten ahead of myself here. But anyway, this is where it really starts getting good. So like from this point onward, she becomes adamant that she must destroy this ship. And she will do anything to do it. So she takes over the ship, she imprisons her captain, and she basically sends a message back to her Zant Vash homies that it's time to take this whole place out. So 2 more Tal Shiar ships kind of come in here, and now they show up, And now she's got 3 ships, and she's ready just to take this whole thing out. So then the action really starts. So she goes in and attacks this ship, trying to take it out. But of course, Riker and I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing for you here. Riker is able to work together with the Jazari to come up with a solution. These guys are pacifists and they don't want to harm anybody, and basically they only want to leave because the Federation has banned synthetics, so they feel it's their time to leave. Other than that, they like it here and they don't want to go. And they definitely don't want to hurt anybody. So, but working together with the Titan, the Jazari are able to kind of fend off the Romulans long enough to be able to get out of there, get to safety. And then, yeah, it's just really good. Like I said, I don't want to give up too much at the very end because it really gets a little bit crazy. But what I will say is that the final battle that they describe in the book, I thought that they did really well. So they have the Titan coming in. It's not my channel if we don't look at some toys. So they have the Titan coming in, and they have the Romulan warbird charging its fatal disruptor. And they have one shot, and their only shot, guys, is they've got to go straight on with shields full ahead and take it on before it can get a lock. And they take it on, and they get in there fast enough, and they do it. And what do? Do they destroy the Romulan warbird? No. They disable. They disable the warbird. They send a team aboard the warbird. They put the captain back in charge. And they bring this lady to trial, which kind of brings us full circle back to the trial that they have at the beginning. I warned you guys I was going to be ranting and raving in this review, and that's what I've done. So, I have left out a lot that is really exciting about this book, and I've said a lot of things that may or may not be even true about this book. But what I will say is if you like Star Trek, and you're a fan of the Titan and Riker, definitely pick this up and give this a read, because this is fun. Now, what's going to happen next? That is a good question. So, I've got 2 choices of where we can go from here. So, I do have this, which came in recently. So this is the next kind of Picard follow-up book, Rogue Elements, which actually different than what I thought it would be, because apparently this is about Rios and his time before he met Picard on a planet based on Prohibition-era Earth. That sounds like an episode of the original series, you know what I'm saying? So I can either dive into this, or we can go back in time to TNG novel number 8, which is kind of picking up where I left off before. So both of these really good options, but check out, there's a samurai sword at the bottom of this one. I don't know what that's about, but that looks pretty sweet. So if any of you guys are watching this still watching this, and you're hanging in there at the 13-minute mark watching my unfocused butt because I'm putting stuff up in front of the camera, which one of these would you like me to read next? Leave a comment below, and I'll read whatever you say. At least my son or my wife will probably comment. Alright, well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm sorry for the focus issue. It's because I'm cramming my books up in there. But anyway, live long and prosper. Thanks for watching again, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.